Hello boys and girls, welcome to another stream of Dwarf Fortress Crystalwound. We will continue where we've left off. I can't wait for a new version which would give me a reason to play with the Dwarf Fortress hack. So here these guys are smoothing the new barracks. We should probably build some rooms here, but I guess I will go with complete room. I don't even know whether these bridges are linked already or not. You can easily see that. They have no mechanisms in there, so I suppose they aren't linked yet. Bridge barracks 1 and 2. Bridge barracks 1. Yeah. 1. And 2. Then we can close it, and then we can hopefully designate the room properly. Our miners haven't had any luck finding pastures, but as far as I can tell, there is another layer of soil just underneath, so we could, in theory, use what is here. We'll see what it farmer's got no job. I wonder what should I do with this farmer. Give him stone detailing, I guess. Oh no, taken by mood. Glassmaker is taken by mood, which means he will need a glass furnace. We don't have magma. We don't have magma. Moreover, we don't have any wood whatsoever, so we can't even make charcoal to have a regular furnace working. There are some trees here. There are some two saguaros, which we could potentially use as source of wood. But to be honest, I'd much rather find the way to the magma. There's up and downstairs. Where are my monster slayers? I don't know whether I can trust them. My monster slayers are still here. Okay, I guess they are slaying some monsters then. Well, if we... What if I dig? If I just dig upstairs and say, okay, I want some downstairs here and up and downstairs here. It's taken by mood, yeah, that's bad. He's wandering around. And I don't have I don't have the magma for him he needs. Okay, that was quick. Quick second cavern. We need to undesignate all this. Imperial Guard says, would you consider making an ice fort? Oh, that's a challenge I haven't tried yet. I know ice can be used as building material. And as far as I know, if you make something out of ice, I'm not sure. I think the game mechanics don't melt ice blocks. Ice fortress. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, it would be possible. We could embark in an Arctic Ocean, right? We could use the ocean's water as an infinite supply of water and somehow, or at least some sort of a Arctic or glacier embark. Yeah, we could try that. I should be more specific. A normal fort built somewhere near some kind of ice mountains with lack of wood and snow all the time. So it doesn't have to be made out of ice. It can be made of granite or whatever you have there, but it has to have to be in snowy mountains, right? Yeah. We are we were on the haunted glacier not so long ago, a couple of fortresses ago actually. We had a haunted glacier embark, but it was all underground. It wasn't above ground fortress as far as I remember. Here we're in a rocky desert or rocky savanna. So it's not really cold, is it? I don't know what's the climate here. Yeah, why not? Why not? Next time we start a fortress, we can start something snowy and icy. Why not? Have some polar bear hunters or snow wolves, snow fox hunters. Does anyone know if Kingdom Come Deliverance is just pretty looking Skyrim or it stands out in any way? I don't know, Dan. I don't think they really took Skyrim as their inspiration. They took real historical events as their inspiration, or as some setting. Of course, the whole questline might be very much imaginary, but at least there are some real historical figures in there. King Sigismund is a real king, or was a real king, quite a hated one. So I'm not so familiar with the setting of Kingdom Come. It tries to be very real as far as I know. So how would we go here? We would probably mine here. Mine here. And mine here. Let's check whether we did not. Yeah, we found a cave with troglodytes. I don't know whether troglodytes can climb walls. If they can, we might be in a little bit of trouble. Imperial says, Dan, it's more realistic. It's not fantasy game. But I heard there is a lot of bugs in the moment and no free exploration. Developers made some giant patch and released it 2 days ago. No free exploration, so it's more linear than Skyrim. Looks like it, doesn't it? But maybe it's more of a narrative than Skyrim. If you want a narrative, you'd prefer to have a linear progression. If your game is based on a narrative. Yeah, this is just unlucky again. We have discovered the second cavern, but it seems to be without water. I had hoped that we would find water in the second cavern to use as a source for the hospital. Sadly, there is nothing like that. Come on, 11 idlers. What am I going to do with these guys? They are all thirsty. We don't have any drinks. And we don't have any drinks. And why don't we plant anything? It's midwinter. We should plant plum helmets then. Midwinter, and Yeah, do we have any brewable plants at all? Blade wheat pigtails? Okay, we do have, so brew plants on repeat. Looks like we've lost one of our miners. I remember taking 2 miners with me. But we do have 7 dwarves here, so I don't know who the second miner is. Could be the militia commander, of course. It's too bad the voice acting is in English. They should have tried to make them speak the language of the region at the time of the modern day equivalent. Oh, I'm sure you can set it up to Czech. They would speak Czech. Technically they should speak old Czech, which probably nobody of today's Czech would really understand. So it looks like our miner has mined out something here. Okay, so it would be time to just cover it up. I'd just build a wall here. We can build a wall certainly here, right? Yes. I do it from claystone blocks. Yeah, most people wouldn't play the game. They'd be forced to read subtitles. So do we have these bridges linked at least? It looks like they are linked, so let's actually pull them. And we should be seeing to it that our dwarf gets his magma glass furnace. Too bad that I have chosen this. Oh boy, I need a way around this cavern. It looks like this. This would be the safe way to go. Oh boy. Or something went wrong when doing the selection. I see nothing wrong with reading in the game. Morrowind is all about reading. Perhaps that is. Yeah. But you know, I don't know who the target public, target audience of the Kingdom Come is. Oh, you're thirsty. So now that we have here a closed thing, we can make it training area for these guys, for these squads. And Lucky Dragon, hello. Oh yeah, Nerian, yes, I remember. You changed your name. Never played Morrowind? Yes, I did play Morrowind. But yeah, it's been some time. But you're right. In Morrowind, people actually had to read. There were not really spoken dialogues. There were some just passing by greetings and stuff like that were spoken. But everything else was actually written. Yeah, I don't know whether such a game would appeal to players today. Should we have a schedule? Yes, I think we should. Military squads, A active, B active. Some of the dwarves should now feel obliged to go and actually. We got Dwarven Rum. This guy is making some cloth. We should build clothsmith. Clothsmith. Clothier, of course. Still think Morrowind is the best. There is nothing wrong with reading. People are just lazy, prefer everything to be casualized. Yeah. I don't know. I found I was hoping that if I take a reasonably long break from RPGs, that I would feel the need to play Morrowind again, and I kind of did, and I started the LP, and but it's I don't know. I feel like my it's funny to think about it. It's like my cognitive performance is just shrinking, and I no longer can be bothered to remember all the things around in the game and all the relations between NPCs and in the big vast world. I don't know, maybe I'm just saying this to find excuses why not to play it, but it's really, I know if I don't really embrace the story, and if I don't embrace the mythology and all the stuff around Morrowind, I won't truly enjoy it. I could rush through and hack and slash through Morrowind, yeah. But really to do meaningful things and to enjoy background stories and quests and understanding the quest's relation to the in-game world, that's the beauty of playing such games, right? But it's so damn complicated in Morrowind. I can't be bothered to learn all of that. No longer. Imperial says, by the way, I wasn't playing Dwarf Fortress for quite some time. Did they edit sieges or other civilizations? Well, no other civilizations, no. They tweaked some they tweaked some kobold stuff, I've heard, some kobold cages, and how other civilizations treat animals and stuff. They tweaked those things. And yeah, they added sieges actually with this version. You can expect enemies to go to your fortress and lay siege upon you and say, okay, you give us one of your artifacts and we'll go, or something they will try to negotiate with you. Requiring certain things in order to not attack you. So and then you can send off some military squads and tell them to raid enemy sites, and they would bring back some loot, but only, oh goodness, only very, very limited amount. I was hoping that when you send out military squads for raids, you would build them a real wagon and have a couple of like wagon animals. How are they called, these animals? Like yaks, cows, or horses, which would drag the wagon, and they would return from the raid with a full wagon of goodies. But it seems that many of these raids, especially if you send a single dwarf, happen stealthily. Somebody wrote, maybe it was Toady in one of his reports, that he sent off one dwarf to save a kidnapped child, and he sort of did, and he sneaked into a goblin fortress and brought back some goblin shoes and silk shoes or whatever. So it's possible to do stuff like that. I haven't seen it yet. Do you believe that homework in school will ever help you learn? I think it won't. How I learn in school is with activities in class and dynamics. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, Narian. Homework at school. I think homework at school, homework if done at home and assigned in school, is for you to get used to doing how's it called? Doing tasks with deadlines, because that's practically what you'll be doing your whole working life. Tasks with deadlines. and get a sense for some duty. It's your duty to do homework, so get train your discipline and do stuff you are assigned to do. I think that's the sense behind homework, and also it serves you as practice and exercise for maths, for example. If the maths teacher tells you to solve these these problems and these assignments, he means good, because it will be similar assignments you will be examined later in, will be in written exams. So as practice, and developing sense of duty, and learning to cope with terminated tasks, or how do you say, tasks with deadlines. That's something you're supposed to learn by homeworks. Of course, you will only become a good student if you will try to widen and broaden your knowledge beyond what's given and assigned to you in the school. You will profit even more if you learn to become interested in some subject, your favorite subject, for example, and try to learn as much of it independently, or just encounter a problem or something which is not clear. It's not clear in the school, it's not clear from the books you have at school, so you should yourself feel the need to inquire and do some research on your own in the library or in the internet, or get some additional information about the stuff you're taught at school. Some of it, of course, but whatever is your favorite thing to follow. Basically, the school should, on the one way, it's supposed to give you some basic knowledge. People have deemed it's good to know in your society. On the other hand, if you ever would think of studying, you should learn how to teach yourself stuff, because in studies at the university, basically nobody will give you much of a homework. You will just hear something about an interesting subject, and it's supposed to be you yourself to want to read up on this stuff, because it's so interesting for you, and teach yourself as much about it as you can. So yeah, but basically, if you learn that in school, the sooner you learn it, the better, basically. So you're going to be a teacher, and I will never give homework. I'm not sure that's a good idea, except for if you are a teacher in some non-standard forms of school. I know there are many schools and many thoughts. Many pedagogues have speculated about how else could we teach stuff. There are other ways than the traditional school. But I think homeworks serve good purpose. Really good purpose. As I said, to get used to some duty, get used to deadlined tasks, and use it as an exercise, and as kind of well, when I did homeworks, I did much more than, well, at least in maths and physics, because it was my favorite subject. I did much more. For one, because my father has motivated me to do more in these subjects, but also I myself wanted to excel in those classes, and I said, okay, yeah, what the examples we solve here are okay, but it could get a little bit harder. There could be one more unknown or one more parameter, and solve it in a general way instead of with discrete numbers, solve it with variables and stuff like that. I mean, I always been looking for challenges in maths and physics, and I solved the homework, but then I was thinking of a similar example but more complicated and with some twists and turns around. So it was fun for me, and I don't regret it. It was good. So I think homeworks are good. I'm asking. Did they finally added an option to play as a merchant into adventure mode? Oh, I'm not sure. As a merchant, I don't think the economy is working yet. There's practically no economy yet in Dwarf Fortress. But there's going to be. You can become a performer. You can have your group of performers. You can be a dancing group or a reciting group or whatever. You can be a artist entertaining people in adventure mode, but no merchant yet, as far as I know. I'm looking for a miner, and it seems like this blacksmith will have to do. Yeah, Sasha says homeworks are needed to develop discipline in kids' mind. As just what I said, yes. Guys, no empty bucket. Come on, we've got drinks. We can have more drinks, right? Ah, hello, Sasha. Yeah, come on, let's brew some more drinks. Do we have a brewer? I believe we do have a brewer. Or at least we have a farmer who could be brewing. Oh, if the brewer is on duty, then I'll just enable brewing for this guy. I know you can be a bard, but they promised an option to play as a merchant. I really look forward to it. Yeah, it's on the roadmap that you will be able to be a merchant and be able to be basically a caravaneer. That you will guide a caravan of wagons and wander from fortress to fortress, just selling and buying things. That will be possible, I guess. But it's not yet implemented, and I guess it won't be for quite a long time. I don't know what's coming next in what's the next big thing in Dwarf Fortress. We've got the artifacts in, we've got the sieges in. I guess next big thing coming is the myths. World generation myths. I think that comes first. I have no idea what impact will it have on the game as such. So goodness. It's basically the same cavern we've explored here, right? We've uncovered the same cavern. It's quite an expansive cavern. Do you have a 144 Hz monitor? I just got one and it looks so much better. Yes, I do have. I've got 3 of them, but I think I only have them somehow I can only have 2 of them with 120 Hz. 144, and the third one is 60 Hz. Yeah, that's 60, and these are 120. 120 Hz is so much better. I have so 2 of my monitors is 120 Hz and the other is 60. Somehow my graphics card doesn't want to give me 3 144 Hz monitors, but it's such a big difference. I would never go back. It's just, you see so much better. Even sliding a stupid window across the desktop is so much more fluently. I mean, it's you can't imagine how better it looks, how much more fluent it looks if you have 144 Hz. So if I could, I'd say 160 Hz should be minimum. They could really up the reasonable frequency up a notch still. Goodness, there is. So where exactly should I? Where should I? Where should I go past these stupid caves? This is still no good. Looks like the only way would be in this pillar, but I don't really like it. I guess I'll go for it because everything else would be too complicated, I guess. Xenox said you have a bad luck with these forts and you got some of them destroyed. What's the reason? Sieges, lava? Oh, I don't know. Mostly sieges where I did some mistakes or I got bored with these fortresses. I'm very careless about this one. I can feel it. I'm just playing too carelessly, to be honest. I don't know. As you can see, we got thirsty dwarves and stuff. But I'm basically only curious what happens if we. Yeah, what happens with these new mechanics? Curious to see. Alright, so this thing is we see wall should be built here. Claystone blocks. Okay, undisturbed webs. Disable auto collect webs. Oh, look at this. I've completely forgot that our fortress is actually open to the enemy because we don't have no roof yet above this barracks. We have designed great barracks, but there is no roof. And I don't think we've got so many blocks anymore. Got 304 blocks. Yeah, that's something, but it doesn't really cover this. So do we have drinks now? 27 drinks. Yeah, I think the drinking crisis is almost over. We will need more stone, much more stone. Slightly undecided in terms of where to mine it. I guess we can mine another room here. I think our glassmaker won't make it. I'm not sure whether I should try really hard to make that glassmaker happy and build him a stupid wooden glass furnace. Because it's not about glass, right? We don't even have glass. So, yeah, you know what? I guess we will try. I don't see us finding magma anytime soon. We'll have to chop down trees as soon as possible. We've got 2 more trees on the map, and we will build workshop, build a furnace, actually a glass furnace. Build a glass furnace right here, but we will need build workshop, wood burner. So actually a furnace, but wood furnace. And wood furnace will probably be best built in here. And we will need to, because it's our only glass maker, we will have to assign glass makery to this guy. Glass making, and we will also need to assign him some wood burning. I was going to eat. Oh, whatever, if he goes mad, then he goes mad. The cheapest way to create military is just go for bowman squad with leather armor. Yes, I know, but either you've got the bones for bolts or you don't, and we don't. Our poultry hasn't grown up yet to yield many bones. Hey, now they have, speaking of the devil, they have grown now. Geese have grown and have laid new eggs. Better forbid these eggs. We can get 3 more goslings if we keep them. It's also wise to build a tower with fortification because it's easier way to defend. Yes, I know. We will try to do that. I wonder whether these eggs are fertilized or not. I guess they aren't. I think I've slaughtered my gander because we needed meat urgently. Oh, there was a BBB honey badger. Honey badger, eh? Remining here. Pick up equipment. Fell tree. Somebody's going to fell the tree now. So claim the glass furnace. Okay, that's happy. He probably needs plant cloth, raw green glass. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be too... I wonder whether we have plant cloth at all. Llama wool cloth, pigtail cloth, we do have plant cloth indeed. And we will need here, make charcoal. Make 2 pieces of charcoal. Plant cloth. Oh, he has begun a mysterious construction. Really? Did he? Well, this glass furnace is not fueled, you know it, right? This glass furnace is not fueled. How can he begin a mysterious construction in a non-fueled glass furnace? Beats me. Isn't it a bug? I wonder if it's a bug or not. It seems like a bug. Let's ask in the forums. Got some gameplay questions. I wonder, should I post a new topic? Okay. Moon dwarf began construction unfueled. How do you spell unfueled? With double L. Glass furnace. Question mark post preview. Sigismund, your last name? Almost, Daniel, almost. Zygmunt is my last name. But in Czech history, the count or the king was called also Zygmunt. Was written a little bit differently. I didn't know until recently when I looked it up that in English history he is called Sigismund. And I think in German as well. But Zygmunt and Sigismund are almost the same names, aren't they? think they go all back to Sieg and Mund, the protector of the peace. Old Germanic names. Not protector of the peace, protector of the victory. Sieg, of course. It's victory, not peace. Yeah, my ancestor, probably not. I think I would have found out by now if I have a noble ancestry, but it doesn't look like it. I could trace my ancestors to the mid 1800s, and that's basically it. They were all sort of intelligent people, like teachers and typesetters, at least patrilinearly, or clerks, you know, but no nobles. Oh, would you play Stellaris? I actually do have that game on Steam. I do have Stellaris on Steam. I don't know whether I bought it or somebody gave it to me. Hey, look at this. Givish has created, this is something new I haven't experienced in any other earlier version, created a green glass ring. He claims it as an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor English Earthwards. Oh, he will be mad if the first siege comes and will demand this stupid ring. Highest quality, stupid, I'm sorry to call it stupid, it's a marvelous ring. This object is adorned with hanging rings of pigtail and menaces with spikes of green glass. Oh, spiky ring. Hanging rings. A ring with hanging rings of pigtail. Alright. Would you play Stellaris? What's so special about Stellaris? It's all in one fuzzy memory, and I can't distinguish it from another similar space game called Rodina. I think it may be even a Rodina what I have rather than Stellaris. Let me quickly check. I might have completely mistaken it for Rodina. Yeah, of course I don't have Stellaris. I do have Rodina. Okay, so I don't know anything about Stellaris then. But I think I've seen it. Some sort of a spacey game, isn't it? Stellaris. Oh, there are like five packs or 3 DLCs or 4 DLCs of Stellaris. It's on my wish list already. Explore vast galaxy full of wonder. Okay. Yeah, I think I have it on my wish list in Steam. I guess at some point I wanted to try it, and it's on sale right now. For the next 23 hours. Galaxy Edition, Nova Edition, Anniversary Bundle. Yeah, I'll have to decide.
Peggy 12.
Yeah, Peggy 12 is good.
For 2 centuries we... But for 2...
I don't know. Was this morning I was sort of tempted to try something spacey. Oh, I didn't stop cutting the saguaros. I should have let the saguaros not being cut. Do we have still some saguaros? Anyway, there are some saguaro saplings. I hope they will grow. Yeah, so try something spacey, but it was more in the neighborhood of Kerbal Space Program, and I was thinking, okay, I should read the dev blog whether they are planning to have this multiple rocket control, because it would be so awesome. Do the kind of stuff Elon Musk is doing, that he sends these boosters back to Earth, and basically for you to be able to control multiple vessels at the same times. In Kerbal Space Program, but I guess it will never be implemented because the game engine just is not cutting it, and the game is not programmed in the way. Yeah, Stellaris, I'll have to think about it. It's a good deal, I guess. I'd have to read about the game. I'm not sure whether it would make sense to buy the bundle of it all. It's like 30 euros. On the other hand, I was very tempted to buy a cigar for 30 euros today. I didn't buy it, but you know, it's just deciding how you want to spend your money. Yeah. So I guess the miner is still on military duty, which is why we don't really see anyone mining around here. So did you guys know the game Stellaris? Is it worth it? I could try it. I think RimWorld, it's been suggested many times, RimWorld, and I think I've been looking at it at least 2 times. And it reminds me very much of Prison Architect, and I hated Prison Architect. I tried Prison Architect, but I tried it silently, so nobody would feel sorry for me not playing it. RimWorld looks very much like it. I don't know what RimWorld is about. Sci-fi colony sim, okay. Doesn't have to be bad necessarily. But I don't think RimWorld would be my cup of tea. But Stellaris, yes. I was also thinking, as I said, about something spacey and along the line of Kerbal Space Program or X3, if you know the old German game X3. I've never played it, but one of my former co-workers was a big fan of it, and he really was recommending the game to me. And I know I watched some X3 gameplays, and yeah, it's that kind of game that kind of game, of empire building game, so, which I would enjoy. I don't know whether Stellaris is such thing. No offense to RimWorld fans, it's a very good game, but honestly, Dwarf Fortress is better. Yeah, I think of course, if I, why should I try to struggle with another Dwarf Fortress? Dwarf Fortress. How do you call Dwarf Fortress like games? Dwarf Fortress like games, I guess. Or let's say Dwarf Fortress, not Offsprings, but sequels, not sequels. Dwarf Fortress, not really clones. You know what I mean, right? Derivative. Like a Dwarf Fortress derivative. Maybe even that is not the word really used in the game industry, but another game inspired by Dwarf Fortress. If I can play the original, for the same reasons, I've never really felt tempted to play any other roguelikes other than Angband. All these Zangband, Dingband, and whatever bands there are. I said, why would I play bands if I can play the original Angband? So I wasn't really interested in the other games. Yeah, so, and I'm just as little interested in playing any other Dwarf Fortress like or Dwarf Fortress inspired games. Because I know it can't be never as good as Dwarf Fortress. Oh, hello, Khalid. Yeah, but I'll think about Stellaris. Did you ever hear about Ivar roguelike? No. It's a very, very brutal roguelike game, and some player needed 3 years to reach best ending. No, never heard of it. Ivar. Is it? I was looking for a roguelike to play on a mobile device, mostly for the times where I have been sick in bed and couldn't really sit at the computer. So it's like, 2 days of just not having anything to play. And there I found something like a wyvern or wyvern, or how you read this, some multiplayer roguelike mobile, but I was overwhelmed even during the tutorial by it, so I didn't ever play it. '27th Obsidian. So it's like the end of the winter, right? The spring will be here anytime now. And I guess, guys, when the spring comes, we will call it a session. I have a hard time. I have a hard time spending 30 euros on a game like Stellaris, knowing that I probably wouldn't put in the time needed. Like, if I'm paying 30 euros for a game, I'd like to play it at least for 100 or 200 hours. And I'm not really sure whether I would do that. I'm not really sure whether I should do it. Whether I shouldn't just sit down for 5 hours and watch a let's play and just say, it would be so nice to play this, and forget about it. I don't know. I guess I'll take a look at Stellaris, at some Stellaris footage, and see how you actually play it. And whether there is anything interesting about the game which would make me buy it. Dan says, if you buy a game, you must be sure you're going to play it at least to the end. Yeah, that's true, but I guess I haven't played a game to the end since L.A. Noire or Ethan Carter. How long has it been since I have played a game to the end? My apologies, the correct name is Ivan, which translates to violent ways to die. How can it translate to violent ways to die? It's a roguelike where you can lose a limb, and it actually has a plot and a few different endings. Okay. Oh, seems like a roguelike with something more interesting than the classical Dungeons and Dragons hit points system. Yeah, I'll take a look at the Ivan roguelike as well, I think. Yeah. Again, another thing which was also such a more blast from the past earlier this weekend, where I suddenly remembered how much I have liked playing these point and click adventures and puzzle games. Atlantis. There were 3 Atlantis games in the 1990s or early 2000s. I played the first 2. I'm only sure that I have played the first one to the end with no manual, basically, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then I saw that they sell it for on GOG for like €5 or something, basically for nothing. But it's got such mixed reviews, and on Steam it has so negative reviews. People are complaining about the bad graphics and bad voice acting and so on. And I said, what? I don't remember anything like that. And then I saw some footage, and it's terrible. It's pretty much unwatchable today. It's from this era where game makers were excited to get their hands on 3D worlds with some digitized textures and some poorly animated figurines. It looks terrible. It looks really terrible. And also some story and some puzzles were really stupid looking back at it, but I realized I really loved it as a, how old was I? 12, 13, 11. around that age. I did not mind at all. It's interesting how the perception of what is a good game and what isn't changes with age. And I guess it changes. It may not be only age, but it may be the games we have become accustomed to in the recent years. So compared to them, it looks like a real bad game. So that's when I decided, okay, Atlantis, it's pretty much unwatchable material. On the one hand, unwatchable. On the other hand, something I couldn't enjoy, even out of nostalgia. I couldn't enjoy it anymore. Iter vehemens ad necem. Ah, it's Latin. Vehemens ad necem iter. Iter vehemens ad necem, okay. That's the full name of the game, and you can download it for free. The game is not developed anymore, but it's really good. Yeah, what more? Let me. I'm sure I can Google it. There is no need to post the link. And Unreal World, yes, I'm quite aware of the game Unreal World. I have a friend who is really a big fan of this game, and he's suggested it to me many times, and I've read about the development. I'm really glad to see how the people are committed and still developing it. And so Unreal World, yeah, it's quite good, from the two Finns. Imperial says reviews not always tell true about game. XCOM Apocalypse got very bad reviews, but it's actually a very good game. Yeah, it changes with times, guys. Anyway, it was fun to sit here with you. I've enjoyed the session. I hope I've provided some entertainment. We had good talks about these things. I wish you a good night, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. Not sure which game it will do, but whether Dwarf Fortress or any of these mentioned games. See you. Have a good time.